There was another mass killing in California yesterday. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Jeff Pierre. It's Tuesday, January 24th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. First up, 7 people were killed and 1 person was critically injured. This all happened in 2 related shootings at plant nurseries around Half Moon Bay. That's a small coastal town about 40 minutes south of San Francisco. Here's Dave Pine, a San Mateo County official, talking about the loss of the victims.
We grieve tonight for the deceased members of our community. This is a horrific event, one that we would never imagine would occur in San Mateo County. Gun violence in this country is at completely unacceptable levels. It's really hit home tonight. Our hearts are broken.
A 67-year-old man was arrested. He's believed to have worked at one of the sites. This was the state's second mass killing in 3 days, after a shooting in Monterey Park on Saturday. An 11th victim there died yesterday. Number 2. 4 more members of the Oath Keepers were found guilty of a rare charge over the January 6th attack. The far-right group members were convicted of seditious conspiracy yesterday for plotting to keep then-President Donald Trump in power by force. The convictions underscore the government's case that the 2021 Capitol attack wasn't just a protest gone wrong, but a planned assault on democracy. In related news, the man photographed with his feet on a desk in the office of then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi during the attack was also convicted yesterday. Number 3. A former top FBI official was accused of working for a Russian he investigated. The official that we're talking about here is Charles McGonigal. He's an ex-spy hunter, and he was charged yesterday with taking secret payments while overseeing highly sensitive cases. The payments were reportedly more than $225,000. The allegations shocked U.S. intelligence officials. They could also undercut efforts to ramp up economic sanctions on wealthy Russians after the invasion of Ukraine. Number 4. The FDA wants to switch to an annual coronavirus vaccine. The agency's plan is for people to get 1 dose a year, like you normally do with the flu shot. The FDA says that should be enough going forward to protect most people from the worst of the virus. They announced this proposal yesterday. So what would a yearly vaccine actually look like? The agency would choose a strain for the shot every June. They would try to predict the most common strain that winter. Then the updated vaccine would be ready by the fall. The FDA will talk about the proposed change at a meeting on Thursday with its vaccine advisors. Here's number 5. The Doomsday Clock will be updated later today. Don't stress out too much over this one. We're not talking about a clock sitting in a room at the White House. This is a metaphorical clock. It's been used for more than 70 years to track the level of risk from existential threats, from nuclear weapons to climate change. The clock gets updated every year. And this is the first update since Russia's war in Ukraine revived fears of a nuclear disaster. The clock has stayed at 100 seconds from midnight since 2020. And for the Doomsday Clock, midnight is the symbolic hour of the apocalypse. Number 6, we'll find out this year's Oscar nominees later this morning. The list will be announced at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can keep track of the nominations at WashingtonPost.com. The Academy Awards are on for March 12th. Late-night comedian Jimmy Kimmel is hosting. According to our film experts, The Banshees of Inisherin and Steven Spielberg's movie The Fabelmans look like the Best Picture frontrunners. But Everything, Everywhere, All at Once could also be a spoiler. I know a lot of my friends on Instagram are talking about that movie and Michelle Yeoh's performance. So let's check back. And at number 7, the Earth's inner core seems to be spinning more slowly. So you and I probably have the same questions right now. What does this mean? The short answer is that scientists don't know, so this new finding is causing a lot of debate. But this is not a sign of the end times, like the Doomsday Clock. The same thing appears to have started happening in the late 1960s, too. The core is a superheated ball of iron at the center of the Earth. Geologists think that it influences some of the most fundamental parts of our planet, like the magnetic field and how long our days are. And just like that, you are all caught up. If you have a few minutes this morning, or maybe a little bit later on, please leave us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. You can also rate us on Spotify. And if you've done that already, tell a friend about The Seven. And thanks. I'm Jeff Pierre, and I'll meet you back here tomorrow.